Hi, my name is Nathan Freeman, and welcome to this climate adaptation presentation, Warm, Wet, and Wise, Climate Adaptation and the Tourism Industry in the Lake Champlain Basin. As you know, tourism here is based on natural resources and a relatively stable climate. The tourism economy depends on snow in the winter, as well as clean air and pleasant temperatures in the summer. However, we are beginning to experience warmer, wetter conditions, and this trend is projected to intensify and continue. Warm, wet, and wise is a phrase that can help us think about these conditions and what we need to do to adjust to a changing climate. First, a little bit about me. I am Program Coordinator for NC State University's Climate Change and Society Master's Program, Director of Climate Planners Consulting, and member of the American Society of Adaptation Professionals. So what is climate adaptation, and why is it important to business? Climate adaptation is an adjustment to a changing environment that moderates negative impacts and cultivates beneficial opportunities. When applied to business, adaptation means reducing losses and capitalizing on new opportunities. This is important to think about in the Lake Champlain Basin. As mentioned earlier, tourism businesses are very sensitive to changing climate conditions, and businesses must adapt. Failing to do so means the industry is more likely to suffer from disruptions in seasonal revenue and losses to the bottom line. So, as we think about climate adaptation and our tourism economy, the phrase warm, wet, and wise can help us think about adjustments we need to make as the climate changes. A warmer, wetter climate requires us to use foresight and innovation, possibly rethinking traditional business models as we face new challenges and discover new opportunities. This presentation will be divided into two parts: climate projections and adaptation planning. Climate projections help us visualize the problem. Adaptation planning is the process we use to lay the groundwork so we can make strategic business decisions. Before we can begin, we need to understand the scope of the problem. One way is to use climate projections scaled down to a practical level. Today, we're going to use a powerful, internationally recognized tool called SimClim. This animation shows downscaled climate projections from 2015 to 2045. Blues and dark greens represent temperatures below freezing. Yellows, oranges, and reds represent melting temperatures between 32 and 40 degrees. As you can see, only the highest peaks of the Adirondacks and Green Mountains maintain sub-freezing temperatures. These projections suggest fewer days residents and visitors can ski, snowboard, snowmobile, ice fish, or participate in other activities which require cold temperatures. This means lost revenue. By looking at these models, we can begin to understand the scope and severity of the problem now and in the coming years. So what do we do? The ski industry is taking climate change very seriously, investing millions of dollars in snowmaking equipment and diversifying recreational opportunities while attempting to grow revenue in the summer season. But ski areas may have to become even more creative as seasonal disruptions intensify and continue. Now let's focus on the summer season. This animation shows downscale projections from 2015 to 2045 with average maximum temperatures for June, July, and August. Red shows regions in the mid-80s and purple the high 80s. Dark purple is 90 and above. It's useful to recall that a heat wave is defined as 3 or more consecutive days above 90 degrees. This projection suggests the possibility of prolonged heat waves throughout the summer season. What we see here is interesting because the greatest pressure from increasing temperatures takes place outside of the Lake Champlain Basin. The Hudson River Valley south of Albany, New York City, and Long Island are trending toward excessively hot temperatures. While this animation does not include Massachusetts and Connecticut, similar trends are projected using the same models in the greater New York, Hartford, and Boston metro areas. This trend toward oppressive temperatures in some of the primary locations where visitors live may help attract more tourism activity during the summer months. Tourism-related businesses may anticipate and capitalize on this trend, marketing the Lake Champlain Basin's cooler summer climate. It may also be advisable for natural resource managers to develop a strategic sustainability plan to moderate human impacts in parks, rivers, lakes, and mountains. There are 4 visitor seasons in the Lake Champlain Basin. we've discussed summer and winter, looking at downscale climate projections for the years 2015 through 2045. For the sake of brevity, we did not cover precipitation trends, although the same climate models project wetter conditions throughout the year. Given this information, we are confident the Lake Champlain Basin will be warmer and wetter, but will we make wise decisions? Will business owners and leaders in the tourism industry develop and implement strategic adaptation plans and adjust to changing climate conditions? Or will we see business as usual, which may lead to lost revenue? In the next section, we'll talk about these questions from a high-level view using a process called scenario planning.